What's up, guys? I was gonna put out a video today about picking up a gift I bought myself for a business milestone. It got delayed and it won't be here until a few days out. So I still wanted to stay consistent, upload something. I'm actually on the roof of the parking garage outside the gym. I got like the pre-workout, just sipping. I want to talk about a topic that I've been thinking about a decent amount. When I was younger, I always knew I wanted to be like well off or successful, but I never had like a calling to do anything in particular. And what I found is that I really just wanted to live like the life that I wanted to live, and that consisted of like being present when it comes time to have family and relationships and all that stuff. And if I could knock out the financial piece and not have to worry about that, that would allow me to be more present with less stress and not worry about that stuff. So as I started growing up, started getting closer to college, I started to realize like, okay, it's not just gonna happen. And it hardly ever just happens unless you get lucky, which is really rare, or you come from a family where things are kind of gifted to you, but then that comes with its own problems, right? So when I was going through high school and college, I was on the right track. I was on the successful track. I was getting good grades. Parents were happy with me, I hope. And I started to realize like, okay, I'm doing all this stuff, but I'm not really seeing how it pans out to the life that I want. And what I realized is I need to start making drastic changes. And when I say drastic, nothing too crazy, but I need to start making significant changes in my life to surround myself with people and things that are going to help me create what I had envisioned. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. Down there, it's really easy to live a comfy, normal life. A lot of people down there with big families, and that's awesome. And hang out with them on the weekends, hang out with friends. Relationships are big down there, and that is awesome. But it's not really a place where many people are striving for a lot more. They're striving for get through the week and celebrate on the weekend that it's Friday or whatever. So anyways, I realized I need to start making some drastic changes to my life. And that's when I moved to Austin. And I'm downtown here now. I live just outside of downtown. That alone has done so much as far as just kind of getting in my own space, becoming more of my own person, meeting more like-minded people, because there's a lot of them in Austin. And it kind of like symbolized like a new chapter, a new page. So I'm not going to be the guy that says, oh, leave your hometown, because I don't know where you're from and what it's like there. But for me personally, I found a lot of benefit by leaving the hometown and going somewhere that's just down the road. Austin is an hour and 20 minutes from San Antonio. Another thing that you can do, and another thing that I have done, is make bets on yourself, make educated bets on yourself. Example, I had a series of bad cars when I was younger, and every time I would have a car for a year or 2 years, and then something would happen and I would need to get a new car. And it was, I was buying cheap cars just to get around high school and college and whatever. But once I started making money in sales, and specifically online, I had a car that was getting the job done, great gas mileage. It was a nice car by all means. But for the first time in my life, I played offense and I bet on myself, and then I bought this. It's not even that crazy, but I actually drove from San Antonio to Austin, bought this car in cash because it was fun. And it was super scary. At the time, it was the most expensive thing that I had ever bought, but it symbolized like a bet on myself that, I really do believe that I can get these things that I'm shooting for, and I can make them happen. Another area in my life where I did this, once I started my own online businesses, the sales community I run, and the agency, is investing back into them aggressively, meaning turning up the ad spend, or investing into a $25,000 service with a startup fee, which that is one thing that I've invested in. It was the most expensive thing I'd ever invested in. It was probably the scariest thing I'd ever done. And ultimately, like, in hindsight, I'm glad I did it. So you guys have heard the saying, pressure makes diamonds, right? It's freaking true. And I guess that's kind of what this video is about a little bit. Now, I'm not saying put stupid amounts of pressure that if you don't get the result, you are going to be homeless, or something awful is going to happen to you. You're going to tank your credit score to 400 because you can't pay off your bills. Like, not that crazy, okay? I'm just talking about buying a fun little muscle car from the 90s when you have a completely reliable car at home, or moving to a bit of a more expensive city because you're going to get surrounded by the people that are going to push you to go harder. Another thing that I did when I had my roofing sales job where I was pacing $180,000 in my second year there, I quit and I put my back against the wall and I played offense to go into the online space. I was thinking if I can make $3,000 in the first month, that is enough for me to get the proof of concept, go all in. In that first month, I made just under $5,000. And that's when I quit my job. And something that I always talk about with guys in my sales community, because we're, contracted sales reps, a lot of times commission only, is really focusing on playing offense. I feel like a lot of people in their lives, they're playing defense. Going back to like where I'm from in San Antonio, it's a lot of people playing defense, right? Like just making enough to get by and make sure they're safe. Well, when you're a contracted sales rep, you need to play offense because you never know when the leads are going to die down. You never know when they're going to make cuts on the team. You never know anything. So you want to always keep your options open and push forward and do what's best for the business. That train of thought of playing offense is it ties back to me quitting my sales job because I knew I was going to burn out. Buying the car because I knew if I did this, it would put a little bit of pressure on me. Paying $25,000 to work with an agency because if I pay $25,000, there's no way it won't work. And when I came into this space, I paid to get into like a sales program as well. I think I paid $2,000. There was no way in hell that I spent $2,000 and did not make this work, or at least make the money back. So in playing offense, if you truly want to play offense, you need to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. It's just like going to the gym, which I'm about to do. I'm still sipping on the pre-workout. You don't grow your muscles by lifting the same weight or lesser weight. They'll actually shrink. You put yourself in a small environment with negative people, your ambitions and the likelihood that you're going to reach your goals is going to shrink. So again, guys, I'm not saying do anything dumb. Don't put yourself in a position where if it doesn't work out, you're going to be screwed. A lot of these bets that I've taken on myself, they're calculated. I quit my job when I had a year of living expenses saved up. I bought the car when I had plenty of money invested and I wasn't driving as much. I bought the stuff with the agency when the businesses were already producing cash flow and I knew that the money was going to come back. Worst case scenario the month after. So yeah, don't be dumb with it. And guys, if you're at the point where you're either in sales already or you're in some corporate job or customer service and you don't love it, you don't like getting out of bed to go to the office at 7, 8, 9 a.m., whatever time it might be, and you've seen this online stuff for a while now and you think it's for you, you've seen other people get the result, but you're scared because what if it doesn't work? I hate to break it to you, but if let's say it doesn't work and for some reason you're the first person out of hundreds that couldn't figure it out, you're just back in the same position you are now, which is not where you want to be. But best case scenario, it does work, or it works half as good as you're thinking it might. And you put yourself in a position to take that trip that you want, buy that car that you want, move to that city that you want, move to that apartment that you want. I mean, I take it a lot of my audience, you guys are younger, late teens, early 20s, mid 20s. I mean, as long as you got a good head on your shoulders, in my opinion, you can fail many times over in those years and still end up better than most. Worst case scenario, by your late 20s, early 30s. I always found it a little bit comforting after I had the proof of concept that I could make $100,000 a year, that worst case scenario, I just go back and make $150,000 a year in roofing sales. Or now with the online experience, the setting and the closing and building systems, I just go to tech sales and I make $150K a year minimum, and you're still doing much, much, much better than probably 90% of people that you know. Anyways, guys, pre-workout is hitting. I'm about to go to the gym and hit some legs and hit the sauna. It's Friday at 3 p.m. Kind of done for the day, but not really. I'm going to knock out some work after. But I don't know. This is the life I was dreaming about like 2 years ago. Moving to the city, working on my own schedule, making good money, all this stuff. And it doesn't feel real. So sometimes I sit back and I got to pinch myself a little bit because just 2 years ago I was in roofing sales. Actually 3.5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now, I was driving an Amazon truck, which is crazy. Every time I see one of the Amazon people in our apartment, it always takes me back. So you want uncommon results, you have to do uncommon things. They're not always comfortable. They're actually hardly ever comfortable. If you're a sales rep and you're burnt out and you're ready to get out of that job that you hate, create the life that you want, go to the description in this video. I run a sales community, been doing it for 2 years. It's really freaking good. Book a call with us. We'll talk about it, talk about your goals, where you want to go, all that kind of stuff. If we feel like we can help you, we'll show you how. If we can't, point you in the best direction. And also, if you're a business owner, you want to scale your sales team, and you want a better life, we can take that weight off your shoulders. Description, find the Serial Agency website, go there, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.